Yeah, updating.
Hi, is Ronald available?
You're speaking to him.
Hi, Ronald. My name is Ryan. I'm the purchase manager here at 1-800-SELL-FOR-CASH. How are you doing?
Good, good.
Good. I'm calling because you had spoke to Alex on the phone about your interest in selling your house.
Yes, I did spoke to her about selling the house. We're relocating and we need a fast sale on the house because I already have two investors came, and so you're my last person I'm talking with as of today.
Oh,
we have to make a decision by tomorrow, Friday.
By tomorrow. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just would like to verify that the information Alex took from you is correct so that we can see if we can come to an agreement to purchase your property. Is this a good time?
Okay. Yeah, it's a good time now.
Okay, great. And in case we get disconnected, is this 7399 the best number to call you back on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. And I do have your email address, so that's great. I would like to verify that you did call us because it is a house you're hoping to sell. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Well, we're definitely looking for another house to buy right now. Your house sounds like the kind we're looking for, too. And it's not listed with a real estate broker?
No, it's not. I didn't want to go through a real estate.
Okay, so you're not looking to go through real estate. Now, this is 3536th Street in Ohio.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and when speaking to Alex, you had mentioned it's about $5,000 in repairs.
Yeah,
Tops?
probably a little bit more because the garage is not it's not like the the newer ones, so.
What would you say we would be spending on repairs or updates?
Probably an extra 1,000.
Oh, okay.
600 probably, depends how you want to but it's a house right now. It's a lovely house, because we're living in it. So.
Okay, no problem. Well, we do buy houses in any condition, and we buy them in an as-is condition. We don't have you do any of the work or repairs. We will be the ones that will pay for it after we buy the house. So what's causing you to want to sell this property?
We are relocating. I'm going with my I'm going to live with my parents, my mom and dad. Because of our work schedules and stuff. Most of the time, my mom watches our kids. We have 2 kids,
Oh,
But
I
we
see.
have a two-family, and my little sister, which was living in the upper floor, she is getting married next week. So we're going to be doing the second floor. We're going to be living there on the second floor.
Oh, okay.
Because
All right,
it's more
great.
convenient for us. So
Very convenient. Okay. When would you say is the soonest you'd be able to sell and close escrow by, Ronald?
tomorrow, Monday probably.
Okay, so, well, if we were able to close in the next 30 days, would that be okay?
Yeah, that would be fine.
Okay, now we do make our
It
contracts out.
it would be, 30 days as of like less than 30, or are you going to just like more?
Well, we make our contracts out for a 60-day escrow period or sooner, and then normally we close within 30 days, but sometimes, we make a leeway just in case there's things that are beyond our control.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So that'd be okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And have you ever considered renting or leasing this property?
It's owned, so I don't really want to do that.
Okay. No problem. Okay. So Alex had mentioned you believe the property to be worth $70,000 in perfect condition.
Yes, in that, yep.
Okay. Have you had it appraised? We were able to do some research, and we're finding that it's comparable to other properties that have sold in today's market in perfect condition for around $50,000. Would you agree with that?
Okay. Yes.
Okay, so we were able to agree on that. It's just properties that have sold, so that's what we have to go off of. Now, there's no mortgage on the property. Is there any liens or, back taxes due?
No.
Okay, no back taxes.
Keep in mind,
Sure.
ma'am. Yeah.
Yes.
Keep in mind the lot next door, it's an open lot, and we're in the process too of getting that open lot too. So whoever buys the house gets the open lot right next to it.
Oh, I see. Oh, we did not know that. And is it?
Did I put that on the?
Did I put that on the parcel?
What's that?
Is it all one parcel or is it two different parcels?
No, it would be all in one parcel. But we're still in the process of getting it. So, but we it's going to take a couple of but that's not a problem. If you do decide to buy the house, it's not a problem. We could, I could just when it comes through, you guys have the lot too, next door, next to it. Matter of fact.
Okay. Well. Okay. Let's see. Now, you were hoping to sell your house for after all the costs, the lowest you would go is $25,000? Was that a correct number, 25,000, Ronald?
What's that?
25,000 for the property? Is that what you were asking? The lowest?
No. The house itself.
So as you see, guys,
No,
this is
I'm
a
sorry.
live seller call.
What did you want to sell your property,
This
or
is
what do you want to
basically
sell
what I
your
teach
house
my
for?
guys to my VA. How to talk to
30,
clients.
35, but it's negotiable.
Okay. Now,
Again, this is basically
that the lowest you'll
what
take
people
is
pay
25.
to learn, and I'm basically helping you guys out so you can learn more or less how to talk to negotiate with clients, how to basically get to a number that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. Just one more thing. So, as you guys saw the title of the what's it called, of the Zoom. Again, welcome to the channel, guys. Basically, there's a lot of people trying to get into real estate as far as learning and making sure we do it the right way. But I think the barrier to entry sometimes for people is just the money, because we have the time. It's just the money part where you might not have the funds, and you might think, oh, I need to put this much into marketing, etc. But actually, you don't. If you know what a real estate is basically real estate wholesaling, which is the easiest barrier to entry. Unfortunately, since the barriers to entry is so low, a lot of people without ethics come in, and again, they get a bad name, and they give the whole industry a bad name. But one of the things that you should do, again, you always come into an industry and always treat the seller like if it was your parents. How would you like somebody to treat your parents when you try to buy their house? So with that said, guys, that's basically what I'm trying to teach you guys here. Again, if you do have no money, again, you work for a living, you have a 9 to 5. I'm trying to teach you guys how to get a real estate deal, make 9K in 30 days or sooner, without having to have an expensive marketing budget. Just one of the main things that you need to have is guts, not be scared to do the things that it takes to get a deal. So basically, first, let me recap my week. I have a pen right here. So this week, again, we got 175 leads. 15 of those were from pre-foreclosures. So you guys know the pre-foreclosures, I actually mailed them a letter. I had one client that called me back, looked at my website. Again, I mailed the letter. I include my website. Remember, I don't try to buy the property. I'm trying to help and negotiate and navigate the process of keeping their house, either through forbearance, loan modification, the HAF program. If anything, you don't qualify for those that are free, then you have to do the what's it called, go through bankruptcy. But I tell them, you know what, bankruptcy, it might cost you. You can do it. Again, if you're savvy enough, $300 you can get it done, and you might not even have to pay that up front. They might give you like a payment plan that blocks the foreclosure. But if you do that way yourself and you're just trying to buy time, just block the foreclosure. Don't go to the bankruptcy court, and then they'll discharge it. They'll dismiss it, and then you still buy time, and then the bank will reinitiate the foreclosure. But if you want to keep your house, I always recommend clients hire an attorney, because basically the attorney has to represent you at the court. You can represent yourself, but again, an attorney might have more skills to represent you as a client, to negotiate terms so that they make the payment that makes sense. Basically, what they're gonna do is gonna put all your payments into a bucket. You know what, Mr. Judge, I only have $1,000 for payments, and they try to navigate so that the bulk of the payment goes to the mortgage, and then everything breaks down from there. But again, that's where the attorney is good, because the attorney is gonna help you navigate with the bank's attorneys, because again, there are some rough people, again, because again, their business is trying to foreclose on a deal, because if they foreclose on a deal, they get paid more. So, but I tell clients, you always want to get the bankruptcy, but I tell clients as well, if you, as soon as you file bankruptcy, it'll kill all your credit. So if you have good credit somewhere else, it's going to kill it. So again, always beware of that. And then the last option, which is going to be the TRO through a foreclosure attorney, which is going to help you prevent you from the foreclosure, but it's not going to help you as far as fixing the issue. You still have to either pay the current past due, get current, or refinance the account, or pay it off. So again, and that's our last step. When I tell clients, when you go through all this process, I'll tell you navigate this process. But once you go through all this process and you can't get a current, you can't refinance it, you can't pay it off, then that's where we come in. Be considerate of us. You know what? They help us through all this. Let me sell it to me at a price that makes sense. You still get some money in your pocket. You avoid the 7 years of back credit through foreclosure, and you don't get rushed out of your house. Again, you sit at the table, you negotiate with me at a price that's fair, that we still make money as a business, and you still make money as a seller. Even if you're upside down, I might still give you a couple thousand just to go to a new place, which most people won't. Even if you put it in the market, if you're upside down, you gotta, if you lose 12% to cost of sell a house, if you're selling it for 100, you need to bring $12,000 to the table, unless you do a short sale. But again, the process is lengthier through a short sale. So that's one lead that I got from there. Again, I've been getting probably like 7 leads per week since I started doing this, as offering my services as far as teaching them how to navigate this. And again, eventually those will turn around, because I always add them to area reply to my CRM, and then I follow up with them. Did you get your? Because most people will go through the TRO option, but eventually the shit's gonna hit the fan, and they need to either sell it or pay it off. So again, that's how it helps me navigate through that process. So that was that. I'm closing on hopefully today's Good Friday, but next week we'll close on the land deal. We'll close on another deal that I have for almost a year. It took me a long time to get the people to get me the affidavit of identity. We'll close on that deal next week as well. What else? You guys know my websites are up. I got one more GMB approved. I still have 4 pending. So I'm down to, I don't know, 6 or 7 GMBs in my area. Again, bandit signs consistently. I always try to put at least, I bumped it up to 100 a week. So when I go play soccer, or like yesterday, I went to play soccer in my area, and I put 10 bandit signs again at night. It's like I got out at night like around 11:30ish, 12, and I was able to go put bandit signs. What else? But I do it consistently. What else? Again, I mailed out 42 pre-foreclosure letters. So that was actually, it was 42 mailed out, because I had a previous batch that I hadn't mailed out. So again, that was 42. That's 20. Like, it was like $23 with the stamps. They cost a lot more than a regular marketing, but again, I always try to send them a letter. Again, be more courteous and send them my business card. And it's been working a lot, because if I send 20, I might get like 4 calls, which is good. But yeah, as far as that's basically my week. So let's get into how do I make $9,000 in 30 days. Again, so it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable for most guys, because you do need to get out there and you need to go knock on a door. So not only knock on a door, you need to put yourself in front of a client, because remember, you're trying to get some money. I always tell people, like, try to put yourself in the position, like, either you haven't eaten in a few days, or your kids haven't eaten in a few days, and you need to get some money so that you can feed your family. That's the best way to get motivation. I even tell people, like, you know what, go fast for 48 hours. That'll put some fire in your butt, and will make you and push you to get out there and try to get a deal. So again, the easiest the most hottest leads you can get, and the ones that are easiest to get with no barriers to entry as far as money, is the drawing for dollar leads. And no, you don't have to get any like deal machine. Deal machine is good, but that's towards when you're already making money. You don't have to get, again, Lang Glide is $10 a month, I think, $10 a quarter maybe. But you don't have to get it. I always use my maps. I drop a pin and do that. So basically what I would tell myself if I was starting the business is, if I drive from here to 20 miles for my job, I always usually pick the same route. So every morning, instead of waking up at 6 to get there at 8, I'll wake up at 5:30 so I can leave my house at 6 instead of leaving my house at 7, and then drive for like 30 minutes in a different location, different area. Remember, you're driving and you're gonna basically be looking for a location that of a house that's either that looks with tall grass or has boarded up doors, etc. Remember, the point here is to map your areas of where you want to look for a property. Now, in the morning, you might not have a chance to go knock on the door, but you can definitely leave what's called a yellow letter. So basically, a yellow letter is just a yellow pad with I think it's like 50 per yellow pad. And I put it, again, most people put, hey, I'm looking to buy a house in the area, et cetera, et cetera. Again, that's kind of like a monotone for clients. It's just like it's like when people go to the store and they ask you to go shopping, right? And the service lady asks you, hey, can I help you with anything? Like, no, I'm just looking. That's kind of gonna be the reaction when you put, hey, I'm looking for a house to buy. That's gonna be the reaction of the seller. Oh, no, thank you. No, you wanna put something that's a pattern row. Again, Justin teaches it, Claude teaches it. So basically you put it, hey, I saw something wrong with your house, call me. Simple as that. So now in the morning, you might not be able to do that, but if you can get those addresses, and after your days of work, let's say you get out at 4 or 4:30 or 5, then that's when you're gonna have to do another hour and a half. So basically try to do 5 a day. If you can do 10, perfect, but you can do 5 a day, you can drop off, actually get off and drop off 5 post letters, that'll be perfect. So then let's say you got the addresses, right? In the afternoon, you already have the addresses, you already read over the letter. Hey, I saw your house. You're gonna first go knock on the door. And this is the uncomfortable part where most people are like, oh, I don't wanna get cussed out. Oh, I don't wanna get told get out my property. The way that I do it and the way that I teach is basically they open the door and you're like, oh shit, he's here. I can help you. Yeah, my boss, Robert Garcia. Again, make it somebody like, what's your wife's name? Let's say put a Mary Gonzalez. Yeah, my boss Mary Gonzalez sent me over here. She said if you guys were interested in maybe getting an offer for your house. There you do tell them the actual reason why you're there, because they're in front of you. Again, you don't have to wait for a call. You don't have to wait for them for you to text them out. Again, you're literally in front of them. So you know what? My boss Mary Trevino sent me over here. I think she bought a house down the street. Remember, that's why you know your areas. So if you're in Main Street, and you know that 2 streets down, it's West Street, tell them, yeah, my boss, Mary Trevino, she bought a house on the street on West Street. You know where it's at? Like, yeah. So that kind of creates it in the seller's mind. It creates what's called a social proof. Like, oh yeah, I know where West Street's at. It's on the street. So it kind of Mary Trevino. It's a person. You're addressing her as your boss. She bought a house, okay, like your house, down the street on West Street. Oh, so he's really you're saying, oh yeah, I have a house. Oh yeah, I know where West Street's at. Your boss Mary Trevino. So the reason why I say my boss is people would like to pee on and be assholes if you were the boss. Again, if you're the boss, you're the one. Oh, what the fuck are you doing? I don't care about if you want to buy a house. I don't care if you bought a house and you want to buy mine. And that's why it's different. Let me just hold on. I just need to do something. Pause real quick. Sorry about that. I was getting a real back there. So then again, when you're there and the actual owner asks you, what are you doing here? My boss, because you don't want them to be thinking that you're the boss and they're going to be cussing you out because, oh, why the fuck are you knocking on my door? And that's one of the biggest scares of people. It's like, oh, how do I answer that? So my boss. Okay. So again, simple questions. My boss bought a house on the street on West Street. She wants to buy more in this area because she wants to make, again, you might, again, make it humanize yourself. because she wants to buy a house for and fix it up for her sister that got a divorce. So yeah, again, my boss, Mary Trevino, she bought a house on the street on West Street. You know where that's at? Like, yeah, perfect. Okay. So yeah, she wants to move in her sister. Again, she just got a divorce. It was a real bad divorce. She wants to move her closer to where she lives. And she was wondering if you're interested in maybe getting a cash offer for your house. And again, the top questions I can ask you. How does she, why is she asking me if you want to suck in? Sir, yeah, again, I don't know. Again, she just hired me to go knock on the door. Always, I don't know, defer to the owner, Mary Trevino. He's like, okay. Yeah, again, why would you tell you to stop at this house? Like, I don't know, ma'am. I'm seriously, I don't know. She hired me out of Craigslist. Again, like I said, I need to get 2 jobs now because again, you know, the cost of goods are real high. Again, fuel is real high. So to make a living, I gotta get any gigs that I get. And one of this is easy. Knock on the door. You can go to work, knock on the door, get out of work, knock on the door. So then, okay, so yeah, you know what? Well, thank you for asking me if I want to sell my house, but you know what? Who's your boss? Oh, she's married to the Vino. She hired me on a Craigslist. Okay. Again, top questions they're gonna ask you. Okay. Again, why does she want my house? Again, I don't know. Again, she just gave me this address to go knock on the door. Okay, perfect. Well, ma'am, are you interested? You want to loop that question around and put it back to on focus. Oh, are you interested? And then she says, you know what? Maybe, yeah, I might be interested. Okay, perfect. Well, again, I don't know how to do this process. I just knock on the door. That's my part of the job. But let me have your number. I already have your address and your name, and I'll make sure she calls you within the next 24 hours. Simple, right? Perfect. You get the address. And again, you tell her, well, do you mind if I take some pictures? She does tell me to take a picture so she can give you the most accurate value for your property. Perfect. Okay, let me look around and then go inside. So you're trying to gathering as much information in the first time you're knocking on the door. So you knock on the door. My boss Mary sent me over here. Who's your boss Mary? Well, my boss Mary bought a house on West Street. You know where that's at? Yes. Okay. Well, she wants to buy a house in this area because she wants to buy it for her sister that just got a really bad divorce. He's like, okay. So you're humanizing your buyer. You're humanizing yourself. He's like, yeah. Well, why are you knocking on my door? Like I said, again, I had to get a second job because again, inflation is crazy. Again, gas prices is crazy. So again, there was easy job. Go knock on the door, just ask these few questions, and then that's it. So I was able to do this, and again, I get to feed my family. So you ask those questions. Well, perfect. Are you interested in selling, or maybe in just considering just having a conversation? Yes, perfect. Okay. Let me have your number, ma'am. I have your name. What's your name? Perfect. I have your address. Okay. Do you mind if I take some pictures of the property right now? That way she can give you the most accurate value for your house, already seeing the property's condition. She says, yes, perfect. If she says no, okay, well, can you take some pictures and have her text them to you at your personal number? Remember, you're not the buyer. You're just someone that got hired through Craigslist to go knock on this door. And then she says, perfect, yes, okay, perfect. And then you get the pictures, you get the price. And well, you always have this question, well, would you have a price in mind for your house? I know this is out of the blue, but I know if you ask me, again, I have a house. I've had a house for the last 10 years. If you ask me, like, and I have a number in my mind as far as what would I like to get, even if it's a fantasy number or a best wish number. Do you have a number in mind? Remember, you asked her, well, do you have a number in mind? And again, and then you put it, okay, yeah, because again, I have a house. I've been living in my house for the last 10 years. And if somebody would have asked me for my house value, again, I'll tell you more or less what I want. I know how much I bought it for. I know how much I've been paying for it. I know how much I've upgraded it, and how much cash I need in my pocket. So again, that's why you ask those questions, and you humanize yourself. You include yourself in the conversation by saying, yeah, again, if you ask me for my house, I'm gonna tell you exactly how much I want. And again, most clients won't have it, but again, it's cool. If they don't have it, at least you ask the questions and you gauge it no more. You gauge how they act, how they talk, and you see, well, they want more or less this much. So then you in the conversation. Perfect. Well, Mess, thank you for being so nice to me. Again, most people, again, you also humanize yourself. I've knocked on 3 houses. Again, one person almost sick their dog at me because they didn't want me to go knock on the door. But again, like I was telling them, again, this is not, again, I had to get this job. It's not that I wanted to get this job. Again, it's something that's embarrassing, ma'am, to go knock on the door, but I had to get the job to feed my family. So I do apologize. I apologize to that person, but I would understand why that person would think it'll be okay to stick a dog at me, because again, I am bothering them. But like I was telling you, I'm doing this to feed my family. Hold on. So then you ask them that, perfect. So then you're gonna ask yourself, well, okay, I said it was my boss, Mary, that called them, that asked me to come over here. Well, I don't have a Mary in my life. I don't have a boss in my life. I guess what will you do? You're like, well, I'm stuck here. Like, you're not. You know what? You spoke to Mary, and you go. Let's say you go home, you spoke to Mary, whatever, which is yourself, and then Mary said, well, you know what, Ace, you did a good job. Let me bring you into this property, and if you get the property, I'll give you a commission on how much I buy it for. So then that's going to be the conversation that you have with the seller when you call them back. So you come back to your house and you do your due diligence. This is part of knowing your market. Again, the first thing you do is you put it on Zillow. You put it on Zillow. You put that on Zillow system. Boom, you get a system. And again, in my area, that's why I tell people you need to know your market. In my area, if the Zillow says 100, I want to be at 20% below that, or at the tax value. Let's say the tax value is at 80. So I want to be at 80 or below. That'll be a price that I can sell it to somebody else to basically flip it or keep it as a rental. So then when you call back the seller, it's going to be you, that one, the person that go knock on the door. So so this is how the conversation goes. Ring, ring. You're like, yes, is Mary, is Janie available? Yeah, hey Janie, this is Ace. Again, I don't remember you. I went to go knock on your door a few days ago. I told you my boss Mary was interested in your property, and you say you were interested in the conversation. He's like, do you have time right now? He's like, perfect, okay. So yeah, I spoke to her again, and she said I was doing such a great job that she's gonna bring me into getting a little bit more money for my family if we do buy your house. So she's like, well, call her back and ask her these questions. Well, and then here I am. So Janie, I see your house. I saw the pictures. She liked the pictures. She liked the area. She liked the condition. Again, she did ask me again, do you have a price in mind? And again, most people, again, you already said to the client at first, well, I know how much I want for my property. You were to ask me. But again, most people are gonna keep that information close to them. So then you tell them, okay, and she says, no, I don't know. Okay, perfect. Well, I do see this where you bring in social proof from the county. Well, I do see that the county appraisal district, the appraisal company that the county hires to appraise your property, they appraised your property at $80,000 last year. And I know something's a little bit off, something's a little bit way off, but more or less that's what they say that your house is valued at. Do you think that's a fair market value for your property? And you put it on them, because you don't know if that's the price they want. And they say, no, again, most people, they're going to tell you, no, my property is worth a little more. Okay, perfect. Well, how much more is it worth? Because again, they already gave you a number. 80 is not a number that works for them. He's like, well, I don't know. I'm waiting for an offer. No, I definitely perfectly understandable. And this is where you bring social proof from other sales. Well, we did see another house. Again, this is where the property value. I see a house that was around the same square footage as yours. You know where my boss bought her house? Yes. Well, there's another house down the street on Orange Street. Do you know where that's at? Yeah. Well, similar condition. Again, I did take the picture of your house and we compared to that. And that property sold for $69,000 last year. Again, last year was a crazy year, but sold for $69,000, and it was in similar condition. I know you said that you think your house is worth a little bit more than that, but based on this value, what do you think is a fair market value for your house? And you state, again, this is the conversation over the phone, and then you sit on that question, and they're like, oh, okay, well. Again, this is where you're shopping down her number, because she said 80 was too low of a number, but then you brought up social proof where this house on this address, close to yours, similar conditions, similar pictures, sold for 69 last year. They're like, oh shit, now he's bringing me facts. He's not bringing me opinions, he's bringing me facts. So then she's like, well, I really want, let's say, she will eventually give you a number. Well, and she's gonna say like this, well, I don't really want to sell my house, but again, if I would sell it, I will sell it for 90. So again, let's say she goes 120. The estimate is $100,000. So then you go, okay, let's worst case scenario. She says, well, I want 120. Estimate is 100. This house probably worth 115 if it was rehab. So like, okay, you want 120, okay. You know what? Based on that number, my boss she said she can buy it, but the only way, again, different strategies. The only way that she can buy this property is if you can hold the note, you can owner finance it to her and for 3 years, and then she'll pay you off the 115. But I don't know if that's something that works for you. And this is part of you knowing different strategies, because the wholesale deal is out of the picture. Because again, you can definitely chop her down on her price, but based on these conversations, again, you basically was a cold call lead or a cold call drive up on their house on a property that she didn't want to sell, but she want to sell. Again, you can include more rapport. The way the report that I would include, let's backtrack to when you call her back, right? So you can build more rapport and see and find out why is she selling. Again, well, ma'am, again, my boss told me to call you back again. I was doing such a great job that I would that she said, you know what, let me include you on this deal so you can get more money for your family. So okay, again, we saw the area, we saw the location. Again, the property looks pretty good. Again, is there any issue with the area, or why would you consider selling it? The reason why you ask, is there any issue with the area, or why would you consider selling it? Because you want them to justify that the area is good. But the real question that you're trying to ask is why you want to sell it. But when you throw that second question, well, is there any issue with the area? Automatically, anybody who wants to sell you something, they're like, oh no, the area is great. And trust me, I've done it. And out of 10 deals that I've done, 10 times the answer is, oh no, the area is great. The reason why I'm selling, and then that's where you bring it in. Oh, the reason why I'm selling is because of this. And then this is when you break down. Again, if you hear the calls that I'm putting on live, again, okay, oh, really? Okay, you want to relocate? Okay, perfect. Okay, do you already have a location where to relocate? Okay, perfect. Well, how come you just don't keep this house as a rental and then and pay for another mortgage over there? Again, you're saying, why don't keep this a rental? People don't want to like be landlords and pay for a different mortgage over there. People don't want to have, worst case scenario, they got to pay for this mortgage and then they got to pay for this mortgage. Now you got 2 mortgages. And if you have to, now you have 2 mortgages and you have to manage this property over here and be a manager of the property. So again, you throwing options to them, but you also throwing them worst case scenarios where, oh shit, what if I do have to pay 2 mortgages? I can't afford that. So again, okay, relocate, okay, perfect. Well, again, you can always try to list this property. Again, you do have to basically do some repairs based on the pictures. Again, you probably have to pay like around 10K in repairs, not that much. Just to pay, again, you got to put around minimum 10K just to pass inspections, because most people that are gonna buy this property full price, they're not gonna have the cash to pay for it. So they're gonna bring a bank. And you know, banks are real strict as far as what they actually lend on, and they're gonna bring an inspector. And usually inspectors are like auditors. Inspectors have to find something wrong with the property, and usually on average it's like 10%. So if you sell it for 120, you might have to spend $10,000-$12,000 in repairs to get it to pass inspection and do that again. And then that's why you push it to get it listed, knowing that the clients might not have the 10K. It's like, oh no, I don't want the 10. I don't want to list. I don't want to list it because again, I don't have the money to do that. And then okay, perfect. Well, you say you wanted 115, right? Yeah. You actually wanted 120. Okay, you wanted 120, ma'am. Like I said, the only way that we can actually make this thing work is basically if you basically become the bank and you let me pay you, you let my boss pay you on a monthly basis for 3 years and then pay you off. But I don't know if you're comfortable with that, or that's something that you can postpone as far as maybe not move yet until you can actually sell the house. You're trying to corner her into a deal that makes sense. Let's say, you know what, Memo, you do 115. I know this house based on based on the assets value, it's gonna be taking around 15K to get it to where it works better. As far as it's the best, it's a more improved property. You already fixed it, it will pass inspection. So if you do 110, 115, again, you got to put 15 to you're 100. Now in your area, do you know more or less what it costs to sell the property? And then you ask, well, no, I don't know that. Oh, yeah, most people think that if they list it for 115, they make 115. Oh no, most people that listed had to get an agent. And maybe you don't have an agent. Maybe you do put in for owner finance, and maybe you get lucky, and in about 2 months you get a deal. Somebody that wants to offer you full price, but most likely that buyer will have an agent, because basically agents and bankers that get pre-approvals are like this. So as soon as a person has a pre-approval letter, the agent comes in to help them find a deal, and of course it's 6% commission. That's more or less the base. So 6% commission minus 2-3% to close, which the seller pays. you're looking at 9, and let's say it takes you 2 months, that's around $2,000 worth of closing costs as far as holding costs, and then you end up spending around 12% to sell the house. So if you do sell it for 112, for 115, you do have to put 10 to you're like 105, and then you got to lose another 12%. So you're probably around what, around $85,000. So that's what you would actually net on your house. Now, based on what I'm telling you, I do have a number here that my boss said that we can do. It'll be from 80 to 85K cash for your house. And that's cash transaction where you don't have to pay anything for closing. You don't have to clean the house if you don't want to. You don't have to repair the house if you don't want to. But again, that 80 to 85 is pretty off from your 115. Do you think is that a number that you can work with after I've told you all this as far as what's the process to actually sell a house in your area? And she says, well, no, that's too low. I would, again, that's too low. Okay, perfect. Sometimes we don't buy every single house. Again, you can do two things. She already said it's too low. She stuck to the 115. Again, she's not open to the owner finance. And you tell her, well, if you could owner finance this property to us, right? And you say no. Is there a down payment amount that you would need, that you would take to basically do this, make this deal work for us? As far as, you know what, if you give me this much down payment, that'll cover what I got to go over here, and I can be the bank for 3 years. That's your last deal. Like, well, I don't. I really don't want to own finance. I want to pay it off in cash. Okay, perfect. The reason why you throw that, because there's people out there that would like to buy those deals. Again, like myself, if you tell me that there's a client that wants 10K down, gives me 3 years at the mortgage amount, I'm down for that, because I know I can probably get that property on owner finance it for like 20% what it's worth at 120, so I can owner finance it for like 150 and get 25K down. And then I collect the payment from over here and I put it over here. So that's more or less how a conversation might go with a client. That's when a client's actually willing to hear you out. So trust me, imagine if you can do this consistently for a month, at least have 5 conversations with clients, knock on the door. And you have this, you will definitely get a deal that makes sense. You got to know your market. You're going to, again, for me in my area, Zillow is a good qualifier. CAT value is a good qualifier. So I know if I'm between 20% below the Zillow and at the CAT value or lower, it's a deal. So let's say, well, Ace, what if that owner isn't there? The owner never answered me. Okay, perfect. And this is where the yellow pad comes in. The yellow pad's gonna say, there's something wrong with your house, call me. Simple as that. What do you mean something wrong with your house? Again, if you put the letter that says, I want to buy your house, they're gonna call you. Again, like I was telling you, it's like asking somebody, can I help you with something? Oh no, I'm just looking. It's the same reaction. It's like an automatic reaction. So if you put, well, I drove by your house, something wrong with your house, call me. You put that as soon as you knock on the door, no one answers. You put that on the post-it, you fold it, you put your number, and you put in that. Now, number, like which number do I put? Like, man, I don't want to put my number out there. You go to GoDaddy.com and you get a smart line. The smart line is like what, like $10 a month, and that gives you a second number. So that's going to be a second number for you. That's going to come to your cell phone, but it's going to be your main number. So once you get the smart line number, hey, there's something wrong with your house, call me. People are going to call you. So then people are like, well, how does this conversation going to go? Again, sorry, my dog's here. I'm telling people to call me, there's something wrong with their house. Again, I want to get cussed out. So like, well, how do you answer that call? Well, let's work through it. Okay, ring, ring. Yes, is this Ace? Yeah, this is Ace. Yeah, Ace, I have a letter here, there's something wrong with my house. Okay, perfect. What address is this? 123 Main Street. Okay, perfect. Yeah, what happened is that I think my boss had driven by that area, and he saw that again, you looked at the house, you take a picture of the house, and you know, okay, there's some gutters. They're messed up. They're broke up, right? So then, sorry, my cell phone. So and you tell them, okay, yeah, there's some gutters that were broken, and I think my boss said that you might get termites in the area. The valley is full of termites. So she wanted to see if you're maybe interested in a termite service. Again, she bought a house on the street, and she's got a new termite guy to fix her gutters. And he said, "Boy, if you bring me another client, I'll give you a discount on another house that you do." So you brought in, while your boss bought a house down the street. She hired a termite company to fix her termites. My boss drove by her house, saw her house that had a termite issue, put something wrong with your house, call me. As soon as she calls you, she says, "Okay, oh, yeah, is this a 123 Main Street, right? Yeah, okay, Main Street, yeah. I think there was an issue with one of the corners of your house." Again, all houses in my area have termites. Again, they're affected by termites. So again, pick an issue that is common in your area. So yeah, she saw, my boss said that there one of your corners, and most people don't know this, that had termites, because she bought a house down on West Street. You know where West Street's at? Like, yeah, well, she bought a house on West Street, and her house had termites. So she hired a new contractor. She did a really good job, and she said, "If you get me more clients, I'll give you a discount on your new house for the termites issues." So she wants to get more clients, and the fastest way for her is to get clients is when she drives to her project. And she saw your house, and she told me to go drop out that letter. She's like, "Well, no, I don't want no fucking termites repair." Okay, perfect. Well, again, I apologize for that. Again, the good thing you called me. Again, I let you know that there's termites in your issues. Again, last thing, she did mention that she's trying to look for a house in that area to buy. I don't know if you might be interested in selling. You're probably not. Do you know if both of your neighbors, left and right, are they interested in selling? I know you probably conversate with that. Or do you know anybody that wants to sell? Again, this is where you brought it in. First, you asked them the termite issue. She called you back. The main thing is that she called you back. You got a number already. Perfect. And then you were able to swing at the call. Why the fuck are you saying there's an issue with my house? You put in your boss. Well, my boss, Mary Trevino. You bring the Mary Trevino. She has a property on West Street. You know where that's it? Yeah, I know where the West Street's at. Okay, well, she bought a house that had termites, right? And she got a new guy that does the termite for her, and she did such a good job. And she actually was able to negotiate an agreement that if she finds more clients for her, she gets a better deal on her net house. And again, she drove by your house. Well, not only your house, several houses in this area, and she dropped out those letters. And she wants to know that if you have termites, you might have termites. In case you want to get a free inspection of termites, again, call this guy. And if you have free inspection, she said, "Yeah, I want a free inspection of termites." You're like, "Oh, fuck, where do I get that? Just go online, termite inspector, and put your city, and just give a number. Perfect. It's going to be Ramiro. This is the phone number. Perfect. The good thing is that she's conversating with you. And if she says, "Yes, I want a free termite inspection," well, how do I tell them that I'm trying to buy a house? Okay, perfect. Well, his name is Ramiro. And again, here's their number. In case you call them and tell them that Mrs. Mary Trevino referred you. Again, trust me, if you refer somebody to a termite, even though they don't know Mary, they're gonna say, "Oh yeah, I know Mary," because they want to get the business. Towards the last part of the conversation, you tell them, "Oh, actually, well, perfect. Well, ma'am, quick question. You know, we noticed that you have two neighbors on the left and the right. Do you know if they might be interested in selling their house? Again, I know Mary says she wanted to buy a house closer to that one. Because of her sister, she had a really bad divorce, and again, she wants to move her closer to her. Do you know if that's something that they might be interested in, or maybe yourself? That you throw your last pitch as the Columbo kind of thing when you're leaving the house. "Oh, by the way," and he says, "Oh no, perfect." But trust me, that conversation is going to be smooth because you literally got a service, a free inspection for termites. And then she's gonna say, "Oh yeah, you know what? Actually, no, I'm not interested. But again, maybe your neighbors. I'll go, do you have their numbers?" And then you just call them. That's gonna be a cold call. The same thing, and you can do the same conversation that I just did with this one, with her. Now, most clients that I know that want to sell, if they want to sell and they hear something that Mary bought a house on the street, Mary is looking for another house to buy, they'll raise your hand, and they say, "Okay, no, I'm interested." Let's say this is a dead deal. They're not interested. What did you get from the conversation? The seller is already comfortable with you, so you put them in your CRM. Spoke to seller, said, "We'll get the free Ramiro termite treatment for free inspection. This is for number. Let's follow up in a month." And then you put the notes. When you call them back in a month, that's why it's good to have a reply, because you can, trust me, you can get numbers crazy like that. You call them back, even though you don't have that, you put in an Excel sheet. That's how I started, an Excel sheet. You call it back in a month. Yeah, is this Janie? Hey, Janie, this is Ace. Remember we spoke to you a while ago about your house and termites? Brings a bell. Okay, perfect. Did you get that treatment? Done. He's like, yeah, no, actually didn't. It was kind of expensive. Okay, it happens. It happens. Well, again, thank you for allowing us to talk to you last month. Again, our offer still stands. If you know anybody that's selling, again, we do pay a bonus. Or if you're interested in selling, just let us know. It's a warm lead now. You're following up to see if the termites got fixed, and then you threw your okay. Well, Mary, like I told you, Mary, she hasn't found a house for her sister, and she's still interested in the area. In case you know of anybody, maybe a cousin that you spoke to that lives nearby, that wants to start a house, or maybe anywhere. You never know. Maybe Mary can buy a house anywhere in our area that can do it for her sister. He's like, oh no, Ace, no, not at the moment. Okay, perfect, man. Well, you enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend. Have a nice weekend, and goodbye. And then you follow up, and that's a constant follow up. Remember, these are not cold calling somewhere. Remember, the reason why you stop at those houses is because they had some type of distress. It wasn't a brand new house; it was a distressed house. It was either it had the fascia was wrong. What's it called? The garage door was broken. Something was wrong with the house. That's why you stop. That's why you always stop at a house that's kind of the worst house in the neighborhood, and then you have these conversations with them. So every day, if you do 5 letters. You do 5. If for any reason they're there, perfect. If not, they're not there, perfect. Now, when you get home, you get those addresses that you got, and you skip trace them. You already knocked on the door. They weren't there. You put a post-it in the door. They never called you back. Like, whoa, I want to call them back because these houses are distressed. You skip trace them. Go again. There's multiple script companies. I use REI Skip. I use REI Skip because it's easy and you can do per one. It's 15 cents. Or you can do Ben Verified or People Search. It's free. You skip tracing for 15 cents. You get the number and you call them. And then, how does the conversation go? Yeah, is this Janie? Well, again, you might not know the name. Again, let's say like my VA tells me, oh, sometimes you don't put names on the leads. I'm like, okay, well, how do you handle the conversation? Yeah, is this 123 Main Street? It's like, yeah, who's this? This is Ace. I think my boss dropped off a letter. She actually knocked on the door and she put a letter. There was something wrong with your house? She's like, oh yeah, I do remember there was a letter, but I never called back. Okay, perfect, no worries. Well, the reason why we're calling you is that again, there was an issue with the termites issue in the area, and she wanted to know if you're interested in fixing that treatment. Again, she can get you a free quote from this person that's helping her out on her properties. That she negotiated a good deal with them. I was like, no, I'm not interested. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you for answering me the call again. Do you know anybody in that area that might be interested in selling? My boss is trying to get her sister to live in that area because again, she went through a bad divorce and her mom lives close by, so she wants to keep her in that. He's like, no, and remember, anybody that has an interest in selling will raise their hand when they hear that Mary's trying to buy a house. He's like, no, not at the moment. Okay, no worries. Well, do you know if your neighbors might be interested? Again, she can pay you a bonus of $500 and pay me a bonus of $500 if we send her a property that she buys. Again, money. And right now with money being so short, again, it doesn't go as long anymore. Like, okay, like, no, well, actually, and then that's in her mind. That's in their mind. Once you skip it, when you call them, that's how the conversation goes. And they say no, you put them on CRM and you keep on calling. So remember, now this went from cold leads. You did the guts, you knocked on the door, you put the post and you called them or they called you. Now they're warm leads. And then you just do a courteous follow-up. Hey, is this Janie? Hey, Janie, yeah, I spoke to you last month about that, about your termite issue with there in the house. Oh yeah, I remember. Okay, perfect. Well, is there any change with the neighbors that might be now wanting to sell? Again, Mary wants to buy a house in that area again because her sister's right now she's living in an apartment because she got divorced, like I told you last time, and she wants to move in that area. And she's like, well, no, not really. Remember, the reason why you keep on following up with these leads is because these leads are properties that are distressed. Eventually, the distress it's like a cup of water. Eventually, it's gonna be like, oh shit, I can't handle it no more. And if you have a top of mind that every single month you follow up with them, they're like, okay, you know what, Ace, and it's happened to me before, where they say, Ace, you've been calling me so much, you know what, you've been consistently calling me, I'll sell you the house, let's negotiate. And that's why it's consistent. And trust me, if you do this every single day for 30 days, Saturdays and Sundays, again, there's no way that you're not gonna get a conversation that leads to getting a deal. Again, part of the conversation is being in our guts team, the ShutUpMoney team, where you know how to negotiate, you know how to talk, you know how to ask the tough questions so that you can actually get a deal at a good price and you can sell it. That's the hardest part. That's why most people don't do that. They don't get off, they don't knock on the door, they don't put a post-it, they don't want the confrontation. And most people don't want the confrontation. They're like, nah, I don't want to fucking talk to this guy. They're gonna cuss me out. But again, that's where the money's at. And remember, how do you put your mindset at being somebody that actually goes out there and does this? Like I tell myself, sometimes when I struggle with, when I have too much shit in my head, I fast for 3 or 4 days. And trust me, if you fast for 3 or 4 days, you get hungry, literally, physically and mentally hungry. Oh shit, I need to go out do this. Because a lot of people like to be comfortable, but still want to be successful. Again, and you can't do that. You can't be in the couch eating chips and ice cream and have no money in the bank and say, oh, let me get up and go out there. You can't. It's because you're comfortable. You're in AC, you're in the couch, you're comfortable, you're eating chips, you're eating ice cream, you're eating a Coke. You're like, I don't want to go out there. But if you're hungry, literally, if you're hungry because you haven't eaten, trust me, you're gonna get up out of that couch and you're gonna go knock on the door. So it's kind of just a mindset trick of being able to force yourself to go out there. Force yourself to go out there when you're hungry physically. That hunger or physically is gonna line up things so where it makes sense for you to go out there and do something. My dog is going wild while he wants to go to the restroom. But yeah, again, this is most likely the best way, cheapest way to get you into a deal that makes sense. Next week, I'll teach you, once you get the deal, how to dispo it and get a buyer in there. But the first thing is getting somebody that wants to talk to you, and you got a price that makes sense. Again, read your areas, read your sales estimate, read your market, read more or less what comparables make sense, what values make sense, so that you once become like, my thing is, you got to be a market dominator. Again, I got to dominate my market. I got to know everything from my market so that I can, on a 5-minute call, can tell you more or less how much I can pay for the house. But yeah, so again, we're towards the end of the session, guys. I hope you got something from this session. Trust me. I wish I had this conversation with myself. I spent like 40K in stupid trainings, which I see now people trying to be the same thing, and they say, "Oh, I'm doing this." You're still charging, bro. You're still charging for a service that you know most likely is free. I don't knock on people that are coaches that are at scales coaches. That when you're making 200 to 300K a year, then you can scale to $1 million. I don't mind paying 25, 30K for that. But taking advantage of this people coming in and 5K, 3K, $500 here, that for me is something that that was frowned upon back then. And you see a transition. Well, they start making money and they see, oh shit, there's money making in education. And they say, well, I'm still doing the job. You know for a fact that it's much easier to teach education than make a deal. It's much easier to sell 10 courses at 5K, that's 50K, than trying to get out there and get a 40K deal. Trust me. So again, if at an honest level, tell yourself, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I make much more money in education. Perfect. Be honest with yourself and with your audience. Yeah, we actually more money. I make more money with the coaching. Don't throw that, oh, I'm still doing the job. Nah, you're getting more money because that's the easiest way to get deals. As far as the client's your deal, not the house. But again, that's another rant that can go for another day. But yeah, if any money, and when you're coming in, guys, the money that you should put in anything right now, if you have zero, the money should go to marketing. It shouldn't go to a coach. It shouldn't go to a course. It should go to market. I'm teaching you something that you can be actionable on less than $50 a month, sorry, as far as driving, because you always drive. So the only thing you're paying for, it's going to be for the $9.99, $9 and $10 for the phone line. If you get our reply, it's $50. But right now, if you don't have nothing, get the second line for $10, get the Post-its, and get a pen. And then the amount that they charges you to skip, 15 cents per lead. That's it. You don't have to pay anything. You don't have to do anything else. Just do that. So again, hopefully you guys enjoy the session. Again, sub to the channel. Again, ShutUpMoney team. We have a group. Justin's been a great coach. Claude, the same thing. All the team has been great. I've scaled my business in more deals, just learning how to talk to clients. But yeah, it's been good. Again, if you have any questions, again, there's the group. Join it. Put them in the chat. I don't review chats when I'm on live, but again, I do go back and see if anybody asks questions. So let's have a great Friday. Again, Good Friday, and then we get a nice weekend. Enjoy, be safe. My dog's going wild. Have a good day, guys.